Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Hope everybody's having a good one. Today we're going to be talking a little bit of BK notes. Got some notes from Lane Kiffin in his press conference today. We got our SEC grades as we do every Monday after a weekend of college football. Going to reflect on our top 3 games of the week and break down our Monday Night Football matchup. Saints versus Chiefs. Tough game. Undefeated Chiefs versus the Saints. Saints started off red hot, kind of maybe been fizzling out. I'm not going to I'm not going to deflate the air in their tires yet. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Coach Kelly has some positive news for LSU fans. First things first, Caden Durham, CJ Daniels, Zy Alexander, all going to be practicing this week. Maybe not all 100% healthy. Maybe not even all, going to play versus Ole Miss this Saturday, but they're getting prepared. Coach Kelly kind of, alluded to the fact that they're going to have everybody for Ole Miss. Is trying to kind of conceal it last week due to it being a bye week. I'm sure we'll get more information as the week progresses, as the week goes. He gave tribute to Ole Miss's defense, kind of crediting them, just showing, how strong they've been recently, allowing less than 10 points per game. But to the contrary, Lane Kiffin in his press conference, he gave tribute to BK and just how he's been able to prepare this staff and this team as a whole with, 2 new coordinators, the turnover, and how LSU's offense has looked explosive, according to Coach Kiffin. So with that being said, that's pretty much one of the main matchups you're going to be watching this weekend. It's going to be LSU's offense. Can they start fast? Can they keep up with the other side of the ball? Because the defense might have their work cut out for them. Jackson Dart's leading college football in really all the right ways, really all the right areas. Trey Harris went down. That's going to be kind of one of the big asterisk areas this week for Ole Miss in their game prep. Will he be ready for Saturday? They've had a couple of players talk to media throughout this week, and they've kind of preached that next man up mentality. And of course, you want to hear that, and it's natural to hear that, right? Coming out of a star player's injury. I mean, you've even heard it over here from LSU. But what it's kind of making me wonder is, are they preparing for a week without their top wide receiver? It could kind of help LSU's defense out a little bit because as of right now, they're not necessarily helpless, but it's going to be a tall task. You saw how they handled South Carolina's defense. You saw how fast, how efficient, and really how consistent they were throughout that whole game. LSU won the South Carolina game naturally, but I mean, obviously it wasn't your best performance, it wasn't your best showcase, and it's really making you think, how are they going to start this Saturday? Hopefully it's a completely different game, completely different matchup, and LSU kind of irons out the kinks throughout the bye week. But to start off these SEC grades for the A, I'm giving it to the team we're playing this week, Ole Miss. They had a big win in the right spot, right before really one of their biggest games of the season, at a point where they couldn't really bend. They couldn't, give and risk losing momentum before they have that top, 15 ranked matchup. 24-3 start. Went out and shut out the Gamecocks in the second half. Every touchdown the Rebels score was on the ground. They had a 325-pound D-tackle playing running back who got 2 touchdowns in. Keep in mind, this D-tackle has only carried the ball 7 times, but he's gotten 4 touchdowns. Second on the team. That's more touchdowns than Michigan's Donovan Edwards, Georgia's Trevor Etienne, Auburn's Jarquez Hunter. I mean, he's getting the rock in the pay dirt. I know it's not usual. It's kind of your little trick package, but LSU's defense, they need to be ready. If you see old 325-pound running back get on the field, more than likely he's getting the rock, and over half of his carries have ended up in 6. Big win for the Rebels. Like I said, they're going to have to lock in this week. This is going to be a really, really, really big swing in SEC rankings. We've kind of been keeping up with it, and obviously it's led by your Texases, your Georgia, your Alabama, but Ole Miss or LSU can really make their presence felt here this weekend. What a good win. What a good performance. I mean, no matter who comes out of it, they're both pretty respectable teams, both high-ranked, both have potential futures for a college football playoff or even maybe an SEC championship if things shape out the way the teams need them to, shape out. Moving into the B, I'm going to give it to Georgia. I think ETN went off, 16 attempts, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's a good bounce back after Alabama when Alabama did not bounce back whatsoever. Georgia, they didn't cover the spread, though. The under hit on the total. So, I mean, yeah, your offense production, it needs to keep rising now. You had your rushing game succeed. Carson Beck kind of looked all right. Didn't have any passing touchdowns, but he did have a high Completion percentage near that 80% mark. Really, like I said, though, I just want to see this team continue to evolve, continue to get better. If Georgia can score more, score in bunches a little bit, faster, maybe more consistently, I could see them being a lock for a SEC championship game. But as of right now, it could keep being a toss-up. But with this performance they had over Auburn this week, I'm going to give them the B. Your C grade. It's a little tough. I'll give it to Texas A&M. Now, I know they got a big win. I'm not trying to knock them. I had to put Georgia at the B. I'll give Texas A&M the C, but it's a C+. It's a high C. It's a C that you're going to be proud of because not a lot of people expected it, myself included. I mean, Connor Wigman had a game of games, one of his best games of his career, 81% completion, 276 pass yards, 33 rush yards. They came out and beat a top 10 team. First things first, I'm going to give Elko his credit. Maybe, the Jimbo Fisher move and moving to Elko, it's paying off as of right now. It was kind of murky at first. Now you're getting into a situation where you're really getting your money's worth and you're kind of realizing, oh, yeah, that deal was worth it. 5 rushing touchdowns for A&M, over 200-plus rushing yards and over 200-plus passing yards. 200-plus each, both phases of the game. Offense was executing. Mizzou's defense was getting obliterated, and that's why they got the D. D grade for this week. They went down 24-0 at half. They had less than half of A&M's total yards. They had 254 total yards to A&M's 512. They had less penalties, yeah, but it didn't result in anything. They also got 6 sacks. They were getting pressure in the backfield, and they weren't able to stop, slow down, or prevent anything. Even their offense didn't have any type of production. Brady Cook, 41% completion percentage, 186 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 11 rush attempts, and only 11 rush yards. It was just a horrible headache of a week for Missouri. Yeah, you're in a tough environment. You're on the road. Maybe the early kickoff got to them. A lot of people expect a lot better. I will say that. F, we'll give it to Alabama. Have to. I mean, in this situation, in this performance, you drop that game after having that performance the week prior. You beat Georgia in a primetime spot for really one of the game of the ages. Everyone's going to remember the Ryan Williams catch and just the fallout that ensued afterwards. And then the very next week, you go in and you drop it. And I'm not trying to say they're not motivated after a UGA win. All I'm saying is that team wasn't prepared for that Saturday performance. That team walked in there thinking they were getting an easy victory, and they just showed out and, beat the number 1 team last week. This doesn't mean much. It's kind of how they play. It's kind of how it showed. I'm not going to say Nick Saban wouldn't have had the team in that predicament or in this mindset, but it's hard to say. Bama lost the time of possession battle greatly. I mean, I need to put emphasis on that. The time of possession was a slaughter. Alabama only had 18 minutes of possession. Vandy had 42. Vandy took over 3/4 of the damn ball. Milroe turned the ball over twice. So when you're getting it, you're giving it right back. You had an interception. You had a fumble. I don't know if the Heisman campaign is shot, but I think it's going to get interesting. They're down to 7. The Georgia win's going to help you with SEC seeding, but in this order, you have South Carolina, Tennessee, Mizzou, and LSU coming up. This is about to get about as grimy can be. I think Alabama's in a little bit of a predicament. Can they go up? They've got the opportunity. If they beat a South Carolina, it looks like things are getting the right nature. Tennessee just dropped on Arkansas, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. Mizzou looked horrible against A&M, so you can go and take these 3, and if somehow, some way you go, do that, you probably penciled in as an automatic favorite for the LSU game in Tiger Stadium. And, Alabama's right back in it at that point. So this could be a wake-up call that they maybe needed, and Kevin DeBoer gets some things shaken up for him and his staff. Real quick, before we move into our final segments of the show, wanted to shout out Happy Dad. You know where to get it. Rouse's, Walmart, Albertsons, the best tasting hard seltzer on the market. Gluten-free, no artificial flavors, low in sugar. You can click the link in the bio or in our description of our YouTube video to get our code Verdin15 for 15% off all merchandise and all things on the Happy Dad website. Stock up for the tailgate, the pregame. Saturday's a big game, 6:30 kickoff. Probably going to be out there all day, so you might as well refresh, cool down with a Happy Dad. Appreciate everybody once again. Moving in to the top 3 reaction segment. We did our top 3 picks last week. We're going to kind of break them down. And break down a couple big losses as well. I got 2 other things penciled in. First things first, let's address the only one that we whiffed on. The one that, quite frankly, I'm shocked. Mizzou played flat. Defense got mauled. That's all I'm going to say about it. We beat the drum a little bit with the SEC grade, so I'm going to move on. Mizzou's money line, whiff. Syracuse +6. Good W. Money line was good. I mean, some people sniffed it. I didn't want to. Thought it was going to be too close to call, but they wound up having a good performance. Quick 14-0 start. UNLV kind of came back, showed some fight, showed some life, but Syracuse in the end, them and Kyle McCord came back, finished strong, good overtime win. Ole Miss, like we said, great performance through and through. I think it'll be a tough game Saturday, I'm not going to lie. That money line got cashed. Here's the two games that I had to just note and had to kind of put in some emphasis on. USC dropping to Minnesota, right? We didn't pick it. We didn't predict it. It's not a top game, nothing like that. But I need to just, how ironic that USC entering week 7 has 2 losses. Neither one of them are LSU. USC starts 1-0. Beat LSU, right? Everyone's thinking potential college football playoff run, potential Big Ten noise. And then here they are dropping 1 to the Gophers. And it's no disrespect, no slander to the Gophers, but all I'm saying is, I mean, maybe a week 0 game and LSU's undefeated if they got some things shaped up. USC isn't what we thought they were. Tennessee, I'm going to pump the brakes on this one because it wasn't as bad of a performance. I think that their loss to Arkansas could have been prevented. They do, I think they do got my respect. I'm not going to just, write off Tennessee going forward just because of this bad, batch like I would a USC. I think USC's done. I don't think the season's going to be able to be kind of fixed, especially in that conference with those powerhouses that you've got in there that you're playing alongside, whether it be the Ohio States, whether it be the Oregon, the Penn States. Michigan you can throw in there as well. It'll be a tough conference to make it out of. I mean, LSU's even got a tougher schedule after this week. If you looked at how Arkansas performed against Tennessee, how A&M performed against Mizzou, and how Vandy performed against Alabama, you've got 3 more tough games than you thought. This SEC run could get grimy, could get bad, could get ugly. We'll wrap the stream up. Talk a little Saints versus Chiefs. I don't got too much on it. I'll tell you the odds real quick. Vegas has the Chiefs favored -5.5. Totals at 43. Chiefs money line -250. Saints +205. 85% of the public taking Kansas City money line. 51% of the public taking the Chiefs to win -5.5, covering a 6-point spread, and 78% of the public is running on the over. Injury report: Noel's going to be without Willie Gay, Taysom Hill, Cesar Reeves, Peyton Turner, and Shane Lemo. Pete Werner's questionable. Hadn't practiced. Going to look kind of murky. Obviously, Chiefs without Rashee Rice. Maybe no Clyde Edwards. And maybe no Mecole Hardman. My prediction for this, I think at times, hear me out, at times the Saints defense could give Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs fits. They're going to kind of work out through some patches, rough patches a little bit with Rashee Rice getting banged up, trying to find that new primary target, obviously working through the rough patches with Travis Kelce, and he's been, I'm not going to say absent, but he hasn't been himself. A little bit of a shell of 87, at least for what he had the last few seasons. I mean, if they can somehow, some way, just get that offense going, maybe get him going. It's always hard to kind of rule out Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to think the Chiefs win. I think it's a high-scoring game. I'll take it over 43. That's my safest pick. Might as well sprinkle a Chiefs win, make it a 2-leg, get some plus in there. Now, if the Saints win, the hype is back. And if the Saints lose, we're going to have a lot of conversations to be had. There's going to be a lot of unhappy people. I think that you're in a situation where you're in prime time against the defending champs. It could get ugly. It could not go your way. It could be a potential spot where you dip below 500 after starting 2-0. Wouldn't want to see it, but I wouldn't be surprised. We'll be breaking it down Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Hit the thumbs up if you like the show. Hit the subscribe button to never miss another upload. Hope everybody has a good one. This has been the Verdin Verdict.